Hi, this is Jeff Blake, and welcome to Adobe Photoshop CS5. I hope you're ready for a whole lot of Photoshop fun and a whole lot of Photoshop learning. You know, there's so many techniques, there's so many tricks that I want to show you inside Photoshop, and I really want to make sure that I give you a really solid understanding of Photoshop from the ground up. Everything from opening files and resizing images right into photo touch-up and color correction and special effects. So, you and I have a whole lot to get to. We have a whole lot ahead of us. Here's a quick run through, albeit a very abbreviated list of some of the things that you and I will be taking a look at. First of all, I really want to give you a strong foothold inside Photoshop, sort of the fundamentals of Photoshop, and I really want to make sure you feel comfortable and at home inside the Photoshop interface. And then, once we're feeling comfortable inside Photoshop, we'll talk about navigating and working with multiple images inside Photoshop. And then after that, I have some productivity techniques that I want to share with you inside Photoshop as well. And then from there, we get into one of the more technical aspects of Photoshop. And I'll try and explain this stuff in as straightforward a manner as possible, but understanding DPI, PPI, and LPI. Now, what I'm referring to there is resolution, and we'll get into a discussion on that, obviously. And then, once we're comfortable with that, we'll get into a discussion on resizing your images, understanding resampling, and also cropping your images. From there, we'll get into working with selections, we'll dig into Photoshop layers, and then we'll spend some time talking about masking techniques inside Photoshop. There's lots of different techniques I want to show you in terms of creating perfect masks, including something called quick masks and something called layer masks as well. And then we'll talk about photo retouching, we'll get into some techniques there. We'll understand Photoshop's color modes, and then we'll dig into color correction. I'll show you some fundamentals in terms of color correction, and then we'll get into some advanced color correction techniques. After that, I want to show you some non-destructive color correction options as well. And then finally, we'll get into some special effects. I'll show you how to apply filters and effects to your images, and then finally, how to non-destructively apply effects and filters to your photos and your images inside Photoshop. So, I hope you're excited. Let's dig into it. Adobe Photoshop CS5.